Hey everybody, happy Monday. This is Carolyn on the Let's Talk with Carolyn radio show on SadorRadio.com and Mr. C.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk with Carolyn on this beautiful Monday night. I hope y'all had a great day. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this ride. Oh, it'll be fun.
Happy Monday, everybody. It's Labor Day. Happy Monday. Most people are out in the park in Philly. They're probably at Let's Party in the Park with Patty, and we'll be right back. We still have some housekeeping to do. If you have not already done so, please share the radio station. You can go to or YouTube Live. Go to www.bit.ly/Sador Radio, or you can use your smartphone or your tablet and log on to www.sadorradio.com. Once you get there, you're going to click on the icon that says Sador Radio. We'll be right back in a few. Check this out. Black box, everybody. video already. I just got started. And I already had a notification. My video is being viewed. Hey Gary, how you doing? Hey Gator, how you doing? Tonight's topic
You know I love to do that.
is about the human immunodeficiency virus. So we're going to talk about that, how it works, and some of the cities that is
Yeah, let it go.
at the top of the list for HIV.
Let me do that.
What?
Okay. On there.
I'm going there.
Okay.
You know I'm going there.
Yeah.
I gotta go there. I gotta go there. Because one of the cities, somebody keeps telling me stay away from the city. Don't even shake nobody's hand when you get there.
Atlanta.
Yeah. But did they come up on the list? Oh yeah. They're number 2 on the list.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're number 2 on the list. Happy Labor Day, everybody. Happy Labor Day, everybody. If you're not already done so, please share. I forgot my straw.
That's a good one.
I'm good. You don't have straw. Yeah, but then how you gonna get back in the station?
That's a good one right now. So it's probably not. I can use this one.
This is gonna hold. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in with me tonight. Let me get this started. Welcome back, everybody. Ooh. Welcome back, everybody. So let's talk with Carolyn on SadorRadio.com. Tonight's topic is on HIV and AIDS. And what would you do if you found out that your relative or a friend of yours had been diagnosed with HIV? How would you treat them from that point on? So we're going to be talking about that for a little bit, as well as talking about some entrepreneurial events that is coming up. We are in the last quarter of the year. You want to get ready for 2020. Holidays is coming up. If you are short on cash or you need some extra money, we will be talking about the 21-day side hustle challenge. So first, let's get into the health part. Health awareness is on AIDS. HIV means, and I'm sure everybody knows this, but for those that don't, it means human immunodeficiency virus. Human immunodeficiency virus can does progress into AIDS, which is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Having said that, I want to explain to you how the virus actually works. But before I go into that, AIDS have been out for 20 years, very long time. There's no cure for it. There's medication, and we'll talk about the medication. We'll talk about the diagnosis, and we're definitely going to talk about treatment. The HIV virus is what we call in my industry a retrovirus. And this is how the virus works. Your body is a host cell. The virus attacks the host cell. Once the virus attacks the host cell, it releases its RNA, which is ribonucleic acid. Once it releases the ribonucleic acid, it attacks specific cells in your body. That specific cell is called a CD4 or T helper cell. Once it attacks the CD4 and the CD4 and the T helper cell, it is destroying and breaking down your immune system. The HIV virus, as I said, is a retrovirus. And what it does at the third step, I'm at the third step. The third step is once it invades the body and attacks the nucleus, all our cells have a nucleus inside. So this virus is going to attack the nucleus. Once it does that, it's going to release more of itself. It's going to replicate, it's going to make more HIV. That stage is called replication. I'm giving y'all the short version. There's a lot of steps to this, but I'm just giving you a short overview, a short version, a quick version on how this virus actually works. Once it does that and it replicates and it makes more HIV virus, then it attacks, like I said before, it attacks the T helper cell. Now, what's so important about your numbers for people who get diagnosed with HIV is all about their CD4 T helper cell count and the viral load. Viral load, viral load meaning an increase in the HIV virus, a decrease in your CD4 T helper cell, which is your immune system. Now, your body naturally can produce more antibodies for the CD4, but if your body do that, it is going to make, because it wants to attack the HIV virus, but if it does that, it's going to wear down the immune system. So your immune system is going to be weak. At what stage do the HIV virus becomes AIDS, which is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome? It becomes AIDS when your body can no longer fight off the AIDS virus. Your immune system is shot. Once your immune system is shot, this is an opportunistic chance for other diseases to attack your body. If your immune system do not have all of the elements, your B helper cells, your T helper cells, your CD4s, in order to help fight off any viruses or any bacteria, that's when other diseases is prone to attack your body. Now you have, or the person has, full-blown AIDS. For Facebook, anybody, if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, or you have any comments, just type it in and I'll answer your question. I want to go back. HIV destroys the cell, which means your body has no defense mechanisms to fight off this virus. Transmission. Let's talk about how this virus is transmitted, because it is still some misunderstandings about how the virus can be transmitted from person to person. And some people believe if you kiss a person, you're going to get HIV. Nope, you're not. If you kiss a person, you're not going to get HIV through the saliva. So I'm going to tell you some ways of transmission. One is through blood. A person that's infected can transmit it through an open cut, open anywhere on the body that's cut, and you come in contact with an infected person, that's going to be blood to blood. So it's going to be blood. Next is semen or vaginal fluids with an infected person, oral sex, anal sex with an infected person, drugs transfer of needles, mother to baby transfer. If a mother has HIV, she can transfer the virus to her unborn baby. Those are the modes of transmission for HIV virus. Now, the symptoms, I'm going to get into the symptoms, but keep this in mind. The symptoms can be there, but they may not appear for up to 10 years. You may not see no symptoms for up to 10 years. So a person can have the HIV virus and not know it at all for up to 10 years because there was no symptom like symptoms that are there. Some of the symptoms are flu-like, and I'm gonna give you some more of those symptoms: fever, headache, fatigue, swollen lymph nodes, which is also swollen glands. Let me say this about the lymph nodes. The only time we will feel or sometimes see our lymph nodes swollen up is if we are sick, and that's because the lymph nodes, yes, Lamal says we really need to educate ourselves. I agree with you. And that's because the lymph nodes responsibility is to get rid of toxins and waste. Now, when you feel your lymph nodes or you see them, the only time you will see them is because there is some type of illness, there is some type of infection. And that's because we have microorganisms whose responsibility is to go to the site of infection, engulf any bacteria or viruses, and get rid of it by phagocytosis. So because of that, that would be the only time you would actually feel like really, really feel your lymph nodes swollen. And that's because you have certain cells whose responsibility is to get rid of it and go to the site of infection. And if your lymph nodes are swollen anytime, that's an indication that you have some type of an infection, period. So that's what I wanted to say about your lymph nodes. Getting back to the HIV virus, symptoms, rash. Certain types of diseases, when it reaches the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, and because other diseases is an opportunistic time for them to attack the body, a person will have a rash. If you see a rash, I suggest that you contact your primary care physician immediately. Immediately, if you think you may be infected with the HIV virus. If you think you may be infected with the HIV virus, I suggest that you get tested immediately. And they do have home tests. They do have centers, um, family planning health clinics around every city, every state where you can get tested for HIV. You can also go to the pharmacy and purchase an HIV home test. However, do not let that replace the actual medical blood test that is going to determine your CD4 T helper count and determine the viral load of the HIV virus. So you can get a home test to see, but don't let that test replace your official medical test for the HIV virus if you're positive. Another symptom is diarrhea, cough, shortness of breath, and any unintended weight loss. So those are the modes of transmission. So let's recap for a minute. I told you what HIV is. I told you how it progresses to the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. I gave you a short version of how a retrovirus actually works in invading the host cell, which would be a human body cell. I gave you the 4 steps in a short version. There's more steps, too many to go into right now, but I gave you the short version. Next, I talked about the symptoms that are there. I did say that a person can have HIV for up to 10 years before they will even see a symptom at all. So keep that in mind, and that's because it can lie dormant until it is active. It is a virus. Diagnosis, I talked about that. Diagnosis is going to be through a blood test. You're going to have to get a blood test, and what they are looking for in that blood test is a drop in your CD4 count. I'm going to say this before I go there. All of our fluids, any type of medical testing that we have, that we go see a doctor for, and they're doing any type of test, they're taking anything from us to get test results. There are normal ranges for every test there is. There's a normal range. So when it comes to the HIV test, they're looking for naturally the normal range for the CD4 count. Everybody has the CD4 T helper cell in their body. When this number drops to 500, that's the time that the doctor's going to tell you something. If your CD4 T helper count is 500, the doctor is going to tell you something. They're also going to take a look at your viral load. Viral load means the HIV replication. I told you how the HIV virus replicates itself. It's a retrovirus. So they're looking at those two things, the HIV viral load and the drop in your CD4 count. And that is going to determine if you are HIV positive or not. I don't want to get into any type of specific test. I know what those specific tests are as a microbiologist, but I don't want to get in that because that's a whole different topic, y'all. So I did say that if your body start producing antibodies to fight off the HIV virus, that right there can also wear down your immune systems. How is HIV treated today? Now I know y'all heard this commercial as well. There's a commercial that is being advertised that basically says if you are taking a certain type of medication, the HIV virus cannot be detected. Let's dissect that for a minute. Key word there, when I first heard this commercial, and the commercial said, get tested, get the medication, and hi Tara, get the medication, and the HIV virus cannot be detected. To me, what that means is the medication that they're advertising slows down, and this is with all antiretroviral drugs. I'll say this again. This is with all antiretroviral drugs, especially with this or these type of antiretroviral drugs that's specifically created to slow down the progression of the HIV virus, which replicates itself. It makes more of itself. It makes your body believe, oh, I belong here. No, you don't. But if your body don't have the antibodies to fight it off, because the HIV virus done attacked them and killed them all, you have nothing to fight the virus. That's when the HIV virus said, oh, I done killed you all off, so I'm gonna make more of me and just take over this body. That is the layman term of explaining it. This drug that you're talking about that they're advertising on the radio, I'm sure y'all have heard it. I'm not the only one that heard it. Is it take the drug, your numbers is not going to be detected that you are HIV positive. This commercial don't say anything about it kills the HIV virus. And it's, to me, it's sort of making people believe who has the HIV virus, oh, if I go and I, you know, get on this medication, this new study, this new medication that's out, I'm gonna be safe. No, you're not. You still have HIV. Sure, you get the medication, any antiretroviral drugs, you get the medication, it just slows down the replication of the HIV virus. It actually slows it down. So your viral load number is not as high compared to if you wasn't on any antiretroviral drugs. That's all it means. So anybody who's out there considering trying this new medication that they're advertising on the radio, don't go for free fall and feel as though, oh, I can go out here and, ooh, I almost said something. I gotta watch it. Um, Let me find another way to put this. Don't go out there because you are on this new medication that the pharmaceutical companies are pushing and feel as though I can be a little bit more freely with my body. Nope, you cannot. Don't do that. That's not a good thing. The other thing I want to talk about is there is a group of family physicians, and these physicians is with the American Academy of Family Physicians, and what they suggest is people between the ages of 18 to 65 get tested to include pregnant women. That's according to the American Academy of Family Physicians. In addition to that, I want to talk about how um, how this is a world health epidemic. And I want to talk about the global statistics. I know how some of y'all may feel about the global statistics on this side, but I have to give you this information. Without this information, this episode that I'm doing on HIV, it would be null and void. So with STIs, STDs, in case y'all don't know, it used to be the old term STDs, which is sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, CDC changed it some years ago. Now the most common term is STI, which is standard transmission infection. According to the CDC, some STIs is a red flag for HIV risk. According to some CDC, STIs is a red flag for HIV risk. Very important, people. Now let's talk about globally. Globally, there's 1,000 girls per day that are infected. Their age range is, and this was alarming to me, 15 to 24. 1,000 little girls and young women per day is affected with HIV. Mommies, grab hold of your little girls and get involved in their lives. Get involved. Your little girls is out there doing stuff. They're doing adult things. They too young to be doing the adult thing at 15, any other younger age. Mr. C,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have anything?
I don't know nothing about HIV.
You have anything you want to ask me?
Not right now, no.
Okay, you good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. If y'all have any questions, Facebook, if y'all have any questions about what I said, any comments about what I said, just type it in and I'll ask you. My listeners on Radio Land, if you have any questions, you can call 215-909-6070. 215-909-6070. YouTube, if you have any questions, just type in and I'm sure I can see it because I am YouTube live. So if you have any questions, whether you catch this live or you catch this on a replay, just type it in and I will answer your questions. I want to move on to, because I got this timed out and so far I'm on schedule. I want to move into, because it is a public health and it's very epidemic and you have a lot of, thank you, Tara, thank you. I want to get into, because this is a public health epidemic, and I say epidemic because it is. You have NIH, National Institutes of Health, you have CDC, you have WHO, World Health Organization. You have a lot of medical organizations that are involved in this. And one of my viewers said we must educate ourselves. Yes, we should be educating ourselves and not shy away from it. Sometimes when diseases come out, you have a lot of people, and you may be one of these people that says, you know what, I don't want to know, I don't care to know, as long as they don't come near me. I'm asking you, do not have that attitude towards a person who has a disease. If before you have that attitude, this is what I suggest you do. If you're that afraid of a person who's been diagnosed with a disease that is not contagious, I suggest you do your research and you educate yourself on it. And one of the key things you want to look at is, what is it? How is it transmitted? If it's not airborne, you good. Airborne as in tuberculosis, you're good. If it's not airborne, you ain't got to worry about getting HIV. I gave you the modes of transmission for HIV. This HIV is a tough subject for me to talk about because I have had friends as well as relatives that have crossed over from this deadly disease. And I'm gonna tell you this, according to, y'all know me, my research, it affects, this is what they said, I have to agree with some, and I'm gonna tell you what I agree with and what I don't agree with in my research. Low and middle income countries. Okay. Africa. Okay. That's on the world side. Next, I want to give you state sides. The number one state that is documented of reported cases for people having HIV is South Carolina. I thought it was going to be Atlanta, Georgia. I really thought it was going to be Atlanta. Number one, I thought it was going to be Atlanta, Georgia, because Atlanta, don't take no offense to this, people out there in Atlanta and Georgia, it is what it is. Atlanta is known as a city for HIV. like big. That's like HIV capital. But according to my research, it came in number two. South Carolina came in number one. I only picked the top six. I didn't go through the whole list. It's like 20 city states, but I picked the top six. South Carolina was number one. Georgia, number two. North Carolina is number three on the list as being hot. Tennessee is number four. Texas is number five. And Cali is number six. Now, let's break it down a little bit further. 70% of heterosexual women has been documented to have been infected with the HIV virus. Ladies, that should tell you something. If it don't tell you something, wake up, open your eyes. It's in your face. Number one on the list was African American Black women.
Mm,
Number
wow.
two, yeah,
Really?
yes.
Mm.
hmm That was number one on the list. Number two is Hispanic women.
Mm.
Yep. Can you get these two right here? This one or this one? Hold on, everybody.
I don't know what this is.
If not, get this one. Hold on, everybody. I'm having a hot flash up in here. All right, while you're taking care of that for me, number three on the list is Caucasian women.
I don't know what this is.
Okay. That's what I wanted to share. If y'all have any questions about what it is, modes of transmission, diagnosis, yeah, that one too. How it works, meaning how the HIV works in the body. What it is, AIDS, HIV, diagnosis, treatment, how it works, retrovirus, symptoms, diagnosis, global statistics, home statistics. Home statistics meaning in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
That's fine.
Meaning in the United States. I am on schedule. It is 21:05 military time, layman term. It is 9:05. I'm gonna take this short break, and we'll be back in a minute, everybody. It's going that direction.
No, that's-
That's better. Thank you. Never hot flash. So Facebook, let me take the time out to thank everybody for joining me. Pauline, Papa Giorgio, thank you. Redsman, thank you. Tara, I see your message. I know. I got you. Bernadette, line dance instructor. Yes, thank you for coming in. Andrew, thank you for coming in. John, thank you for coming in. Lamau says you can also start at your local health center. Yes, they can get tested at the local health center.
Free.
Kiana, yeah,
Free.
yeah. They don't charge them to be tested. If you go to your primary care physician,
Charge.
they're going to charge you for that test. But if you go to a public health center, they're not going to charge you. Kiana, thanks for tuning in. Kelvin, thanks for tuning in. Mr. CEO, thanks for tuning in. Angela, thanks for tuning in. William, thanks for tuning in. Ricardo, thanks for tuning in. Gator, thanks for tuning in. Eric, thanks for tuning in. Tyrone, thanks for tuning in. Thank you everybody for tuning in with me on this holiday. tonight. Planned Parenthood also tests. You know what, that's what I was trying to think of, but I said family planning instead of Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood, you can also get a test for HIV.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't, any health center or Planned Parenthood, they don't charge for that. You can get tested for free. Facebook already sent me a notification that my video, when I go to convert it, is going to be muted because of the music.
But the what? The music. What's wrong with the music?
Facebook mutes you. They do. So this is what I'm gonna do. This is my disclaimer. I have to say this for Facebook, everybody, and I know y'all know this. This, I have no right to any of the music that you hear on Facebook. I am not the creator. I am not the artist. I have no rights to it at all. I have to put that disclaimer out there. Y'all have any questions or comments? Because we're ready to get into the other part of HIV. I want to know how y'all feel about a person that may be a friend, a close relative of yours. You find out that they have HIV. How do you react to this person? Give me 1 minute, y'all. Thank you for the water, Mr. C.
Would you like some more?
No, I gotta finish this water. Up there in the hot lunch. Stay with me, y'all. Don't go nowhere. All right, we're back with Let's Talk with Carolyn on Sedora Radio Show. And we left off at everything I have given you as far as what it is, HIV, how it progresses to full-blown AIDS. I talked about the diagnosis, the progression, how it works, the transmission, the symptoms, the global epidemic, and back to home states. So this is a question I have for everybody. YouTube, this is for you. Radio Land, this is for you. Facebook, this is for you. Here's my question. What do you do when a person that you know has been diagnosed with the HIV virus? How do you feel about that? Do you treat them the same, or do you have certain restrictions now that you know they are HIV positive? What do you do? So I'm gonna start with my Facebook listeners and my Facebook fans. Everybody on here, type in, how should I do this? If you are a person that would treat your friend or relative the same, type in 1. If you would treat them differently, type in 2. If you want to go live and tell me on the radio, call 215-909-6070. 215-909-6070. And let us know how you would react to a loved one, a friend, a family, relative, or just an associate, a coworker. How would you react to this person Once you found out that they was HIV positive, would that put fear in your soul? You have something, you know something? Mr. C? How would you feel? Let me ask you that.
I wouldn't treat them much different, but I'd be skeptical about a lot of things about
Like what?
I don't, and with a female, kissing her for one.
Okay, but you can't get it from kissing.
Well, I'm not going to try
This is how
That's very
come
wrong.
I
I mean,
understand it, but this is how come I went through.
but you get it from slime,
No, that's not true.
really?
True, that's not true. You cannot get it from saliva,
Okay.
so you can't get it from kissing. Nope. Vaginal and anal fluids, seminal fluids, not saliva. You would think saliva because it is a fluid,
Yeah.
but right, but it's semen, vaginal fluids, anal oral sex. When we're talking about fluids, okay. However, not saliva because there's something in the saliva that prevents it. So that's why you can't get it from kissing.
Well, that might be a cure for it, huh?
That's not a cure either. There is no, well, I'm gonna say this. Um, Earlier I said there is no cure, but I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna let you make the decision for yourself. According to the medical, according to the medical industry, some parts, because there is some conflict with this. Some say there is no cure for HIV. However, it has been documented that a person who has had HIV went to, they were HIV positive, they went to, they went out of the United States, I'm gonna put it that way. And the case I'm talking about is in 2000, 2006 or 2007. That's how far I'm going back here. This individual traveled to another, out of the country. I'm gonna say this, out of the country. Or it might have been Canada, out of the country or Canada, one of the two. But either way, here in the States, this person was diagnosed as being HIV positive. They leave, go where they went, got treated, stayed over there, I think it was for like 6 months, came back, got tested, they tested negative for HIV. So I'm gonna leave that with you. Another case, I don't want to bring this up, but y'all know me, I touch waters sometime, and I'm going to touch waters with this one. Do y'all remember when Magic Johnson made a public announcement that he was HIV positive? Remember that, Mr. C?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, whatever medication Magic Johnson was on, he looked pretty healthy to me. Whereas most people I know that had HIV, either they didn't survive and they crossed over, or they didn't look as healthy as Magic Johnson did. I'm going to say this. To me personally, knowing what I know, I believe that there is a cure for HIV. But if your money do not stretch that far, you're not going to get the help that you need to get to not have it anymore. They're going to prescribe to you the antiretroviral medications that are out that actually slows down the virus. And when I say slow down the virus, I actually mean that it slows down the replication of the virus because the virus replicates itself after it kills off your antibodies and it kills off your CD4 and your T helper cell. You have nothing to fight off the HIV virus. Nothing, because it kills it, makes more of itself. So in that respect, I would say yes, I believe that those antiretroviral drugs do help and they do benefit and they are helping people live a whole lot longer compared to when the virus went
The first came out.
haywire back in early 1980s, which is 1980 to 1983.
Is that true that they said that the epidemic started from what's that, scientists
Wow.
experimenting or something, and it came within Africa, from Africa? It started there.
One of the theories that you're talking about is this. The theory is that there were scientists that was doing a study on chimpanzees. They were doing a study on I'm, I'm good. They were doing a study. Thank you. They were doing a study on chimpanzees, and when they infected the chimpanzees with their experimental drug, anybody who was in their research, naturally they came in contact with these chimpanzees. The infected chimpanzees somehow, I don't know how because I'm just telling you what the theory is. Yeah. Um, the scientist that was working with these chimpanzees end up getting infected. And from there, that's where they say, and I'm putting that strongly, that's where they say it actually started. But there's other theories about that freaking HIV virus and how it got started. Just like the Ebola virus is contained in the CDC in a jar some damn where, just in case they need it so they can create a vaccine, so is the HIV virus. I'm really talking too much and I'm saying stuff I shouldn't be saying, but it is what it is because there's a lot of things that the public should know and the public really don't know. It
And
is
the CDC is not giving up no information.
um the CDC does give up information, but they're not going to give up information that's going to start a worldwide panic. They're not going to do that. They're definitely not going to do that at all. What else? How would you? What would be your restrictions if you found out someone you know was diagnosed with the HIV? I know what happened.
Uh, really,
Yeah.
plastic forks and paper plates.
Are you serious?
Yes.
But you're not the only one that feel that way. You're really not the only one that feels that way. I've heard people say that. Can you say that louder? Because they might not can hear you say that.
Good.
No, really. They might not be able to hear you say that.
What was the question?
The question was, what would be your restrictions, if you have any, on how would you treat a person that's been diagnosed HIV positive and
I,
they confided in you?
I paper plates and plastic forks. Plastic
Why?
spoons.
You wouldn't trust
No,
them? Okay. You said no before I can ask you the question. Okay. That okay.
I don't test the effects from it, so no. I mean, I'm sorry that
Even though I gave you the
if,
mode of
if that's
transmission.
discriminatory, then that's okay. But I'm, in a sense, I don't know nothing about it. So my precaution is, I'm not going to eat behind you, and you're not going to use my utensils.
Okay,
From the fact that I'm knowing that you are HIV positive, I don't know, but I mean, with all due respect to whoever has it, and people do that, and I'm one of the people that would do that. I mean, I love you, I respect you, and I don't understand how you feel or what you're going through, but I will sympathize with you. But it's a limit to me that I would do with you.
okay. What I heard you say first was this. I don't know about HIV.
Right.
There's a lot of people who feel like you.
Millions.
Yes, who
Okay.
feel like you.
Yeah.
And I said earlier, because of what you just said, I don't know about HIV. My suggestion would be do your due diligence,
So who?
do your research.
Oh, okay.
That means do your due diligence.
Oh, yeah, okay. You using
And
college words again?
I'm sorry,
No, we not.
just
No.
I try not to do that,
No, you're
but it
really
is
not.
what it is.
No, okay, you're really not.
Um, I'm gonna say this: if anybody wants to share how they will react to a person, you could do one or two
Well,
things.
Carolyn, really, this subject is very, very touchy.
I'm always
For
touching
those
waters,
that do
right?
have it, and those that are fully grown with AIDS, and people that don't have it, but
And
have family members or friends or relatives that do have it,
hi,
and
Jackie.
they are not speaking on it, but they react differently. It's like, okay, I'll do so much with you, but I love you. You are my brother, my sister, my cousin, however. But I love you, but I have a distance with
And see, for people who've been diagnosed with AIDS, and I'm gonna say this: a lot of people say, "Oh, they caught AIDS because or
you. They use
HIV
drugs
is
or
because
gay.
they used drugs or they was out there hoeing or they was out there being promiscuous."
A lot of people say because they're gay.
It's not a gay thing.
I understood
That
that,
was
but
in the early
yeah,
80s.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. And then it came up with drugs, needles, bad needles.
First, I'm gonna tell you about another theory. No, this wasn't a theory. This is true. There was a pilot, 85. It was a pilot, and you know how pilots are. Anybody in freaking uniform. There was this pilot who, wherever he went, he was engaged in a sexual activity with women. Wherever this is true story. Wherever this pilot went, he, whatever state, whatever country, he was spreading the HIV virus around like it was Skittles.
Really?
Yes.
When was this? In the 80s,
This was
90s?
this was like 84, 85.
Okay.
Until they
This
caught up with
epidemic
him.
started when in the
Early
70s?
80s. No. No,
Really?
no.
Oh,
Early 80s, like between 80 and 83.
I thought it was early or late 70s.
Nah. Mm-mm.
No?
Early 80s.
You sure about that?
The first diagnosed cases was in the early 80s.
Oh,
And
okay.
that was back when the doctors, the scientists, and the researchers didn't know what it was.
But before then, it was probably already out there and they didn't know what it was.
Possibly,
So they gave
if
it a
you
name.
find, yeah, like everything else.
Right.
And however, they took blood samples from everybody. They took blood samples from everybody that died from it and that got sick from it. And they looked at it underneath a microscope.
Okay, what's that story with Denzel?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philadelphia. Okay, that seems like that was in the
Yes.
mid 70s or
Early
late
80s.
70s.
Jackie, my author out of Louisiana, she just confirmed that I'm about right. It was the early 80s. Between early 80 and 80.
That it was diagnosed.
that it was an epidemic, like freaking
Right, I'm saying
wildfire.
that when it was diagnosed, but it must have been occurring before then, but nobody, it really didn't hit the United States, or nobody knew anything about what it was until they started doing
Um,
autopsies or
that was
scientific
the early
research.
80s. That was the early 80s.
Okay, I understand that, but what I'm saying, it might have been out.
That's a possibility.
Okay, thank you for
I get what you're saying. That's a possibility. Jackie says most people feel like Mr. C, and she heard about it in the early 80s.
So did I.
Yeah, the early 80s. Now, I'm going to tell you how I reacted. There's two, two situations of two people that were close to me. I didn't treat them any different. I couldn't. I could not treat these two individuals any freaking different. Did I know as much as I know now
No, I'm sure you did.
about it? I didn't. I didn't. I didn't know as much as I know now until 1995 when I had chose to do a medical research on the AIDS virus that was 20 pages long. And at that time I was in med school. But back when it first came out, I didn't know jack. All I knew was it was dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Had
Mm-hmm.
sex, you're gonna get it.
Yeah,
That's all I knew.
and but then
Until I learned and educated myself. And with these two individuals, I didn't treat them any different. I went to go visit them when they were like when they last get ready to cross over. I went to go see these individuals. And when I told you
but
it is hard to digest and hard to see people that you care about actually waste away from this disease, it's hard. And when people say, you know what, just stay away from me, and that makes people who are HIV positive afraid to say something.
right, that's what I was going to say. It's like when it first came out, people didn't understand what it was or how to react to it, so they shunned it. They pushed them off.
Right,
They didn't want to be bothered. They didn't want to be around them. Didn't want to eat with. Didn't want to touch. They didn't want to
exactly.
kiss. It's like they didn't even want you to hug them,
Right.
and people shunned them off
Because of fear,
because lack of knowledge.
lack of knowledge and fear, and people not educated, as one of our viewers said earlier, people should educate themselves. And even though it's more, contained is a wrong word, but I will say it's more controlled than than it was back then
With
through
HIV.
education, HIV.
But well, you don't hear much about fully blown AIDS that much anymore.
No, that's because it's more controlled
Right.
because of the antiretroviral medications that's out. So people
Why
are
don't you
living
just couldn't say drugs?
because it's a specific type of drug. So
Okay.
I really can't say just drug. It's a specific type of drug. All drugs,
Anti.
antiretroviral drugs. Let me break that
Can you
word.
say that 3 times fast?
Yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
not going to. But I'm gonna break that down for you because it may be people that are listening who don't understand an antiretroviral drug. Anti means against.
I know.
Retro means this virus has the ability to replicate itself.
Right.
Okay?
And
Any,
grow.
huh?
And grow.
Make more of itself.
Right. It
Yes.
grows. Okay.
So what Big Pharma has done was created a drug that could slow down the virus progression. Didn't say that they created a drug that to stop the virus from attacking the CD4 T helper cell. Didn't say that. They
But they
haven't
had
created,
something to do if you got the money.
from what I said earlier, yes. If your money is that big and you got it, you may be able to purchase the drugs that kills the virus. But remember this, Big Pharma is in business to
To
make
make
money.
money.
So if there's a widespread of people being infected with the HIV, that means money for Big Pharma because these people are going to need the drugs. Naturally, they're going to make more of the drug that's not going to cost as much as the drug that it is that they have that can kill the virus.
Right, I understand that.
Big Pharma,
Yeah.
it's big money,
Mm-hmm.
big money.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everybody, do y'all have any questions, any comments? Don't be afraid to just type one if you would treat someone the same. If you would treat them differently, and I'm sure you have your reasons, just type two.
Or y'all can really call in 215-909-6070. I love hearing people's voice on the phone. So come on, y'all, call on in.
Um,
If you can speak the American language, come on in. We need to talk to you. Put your input on this conversation. 215-909-6070.
I hope that the information on explaining what HIV is and how it progresses to full-blown AIDS give people an insight of how they would treat someone close to them that has the HIV virus. Just educate yourself. Never be afraid to educate yourself. The worst thing that can happen is that a person remain in ignorance. Ignorance meaning you do not know and you have not taken the time out to know. So you want to remain ignorant to something that may or may not be presented to you at some point in your life. Meaning you may know somebody who's been, unfortunate and infected with the HIV virus. Don't shun them because these individuals are already catching it. Employment wise, is it a law that a person let their employer know that they are HIV positive? No, it isn't. Is it a law that a person who is HIV positive tell a person that they're in a relationship with that they are HIV positive? That law, I don't think has been passed yet. However, I'm gonna tell you about a case of a woman that appeared before a judge 4 times. This woman was diagnosed with having HIV. She was HIV positive, and her goal was she is going to infect as many people
Oh, yeah, I
as
heard
she
about
can.
that. I heard about that.
She appeared before the judge. The judge ordered her that she could not engage in sexual activity with anybody. First time. This woman does it again. People get infected. She ends up, long story short, she ends up in front of the same judge again. About the third or fourth time, the judge knocked her off.
Gave her, she had a long term.
Yeah, he gave her a lot of time because she kept being hard-headed.
Yeah, I think he gave her over 10, 15 years or something.
Yeah,
Because that was like attempted murder.
yes, and that's how he looked at it because he gave her an order not to do it, and she kept doing it. So she, there's a word that I'm looking for, but I can't think of the word. But the judge gave her a lot of time because she disobeyed the judge's order. But today, people are living longer because of the medications that are out. They are definitely living a lot longer, but I just want people who don't know or don't understand about the HIV virus to begin to understand about the virus um, with the information that I've given you. People who are HIV positive, please keep this in mind. Anytime you hear of a new medication, research and ask questions about the medication first. Do that first. When you hear that commercial about this new medication that they have out and it's going to help you with your numbers, which means that your viral load count is so low that it's not going to be detected, I'm going to just tell you what that means. That simply means is that that medication is effective and strong enough where the replication of the virus inside the host cell is keeping the virus from duplicating itself at a fast rate. Because that replication of that HIV virus happens at a fast rate. If you've ever seen it underneath a microscope like I have, you would understand. Mr. C's laughing at me when I said it.
No, I'm laughing at you. Popping your fingers.
Oh.
You dancing.
No, I'm not dancing.
You do that all the time.
It happens at a fast rate. So the medication, like literally, slows down the progression of the virus. That's what they mean by your numbers being so low. The viral load number, meaning that the virus is slowed down, the numbers is being decreased. Doesn't mean that you are cured. Don't mean that. Yes, something you want to say?
No.
Oh, okay. Now we're into. I'm like past my time with the HIV because this is a 3-part episode tonight, and the other part that I wanted to get into that I mentioned to you ladies
And gentlemen.
and gentlemen, Wild Mind, thank you for tuning in. It's over here. Somewhere. Wait a minute. Hold on, everybody. I got so many pictures. We're going to take a break. You have been listening to Let's Talk with Carolyn and Mr. C on SadorRadio.com. If you have not already shared, please share. You can go to www.bit.ly/Sador Radio, or you can watch it on your smartphone and laptop by going to www.sadorradio.com.
Or call in 215-909-6070. Even if you would like to just say hi to me, you know what I mean?
We'll be back, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, Wild Mind. Jackie, thank you for participating.
know, still think about that Michael Jackson song.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah, you have that on there?
I know. Not yet.
That was nice. That's what he's going there on.
Yeah.
Okay, let me hear it. Y'all come on and call on in. Cause I sure get sometimes talking to her all the time by myself. We're not married. It's not like we're a married couple, but that's the fact that we're not. It's just me and her talking. It's like, oh, okay. But she reading off the phone or reading off the Facebook thing. I like to hear some voices. Like you don't see my face, but you can hear my voice the same way. I don't see your face, but I can hear your voice. So come on, call on in and talk to us. Lord, if you got something, and I know you got something to say. So call on in, let's hear your voice and say it. I promise I will not tell on
Something like house music.
you. Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh.
Some people are afraid to.
Of course, that's what they're doing now. To speak whatever they have to say on their mind about it. Because, like I said, that's a touchy conversation and a touchy. People feel they can say what they want to say, but how they feel, nobody would know. I mean, the conversation is just like off balance.
Jackie, the number is 215-909-6070.
The conversation is won't be off balance because people think, but they thinking, but they don't want to say what they really want to say. So that's when they back off. That's why they not. A lot of people want to talk about it. And
But you
to
know
this
what?
day, they
And that's the
still don't.
problem. That's the problem.
You can't make them talk about
No,
it.
you can't make nobody talk about it. But my thing is, don't be afraid to talk about it. Talking about it can only help. If a person is ignorant, meaning they don't know, then they should like maybe I can learn something here. Maybe I can have some insight to
Okay,
this.
now, if a person came like now, if a person just all of a sudden came up, no matter where you are, somewhere in cookout, bar, club, whatever, and somebody just all of a sudden just wanted to sit around and talk about AIDS, HIV, they would kind of
There's a
they
platform.
would
No.
kind of back up off. I'm saying, but if the subject came, I don't know how it would come up, but if somebody brought it up, because you was bold enough just to come out with it, okay? But if somebody would honestly come up, we sitting around, just a group of people, how do you feel about HIV or AIDS or just talking? A lot of people will shun away from that conversation.
But you know
And
what?
it's like they will honestly say,
Maybe
that's a touchy conversation. I really don't want to talk
that's
about
why
that.
you know what? That's why I have this show. Let's talk apparel because I feel like people should talk about it.
Hello, you over there?
Stop. We're back. You listen to Let's Talk with Carolyn on Sador Radio. Let's Talk with Carolyn, Mr. C on Sador Radio. And tonight's hot topic is understanding
Hot or
the
touchy?
HIV / AIDS virus, the HIV virus, and how it progresses into AIDS, and just having a basic understanding of it. What you say? You start to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Hot topic? Is that what you're gonna say? What's the name?
That's good.
Why?
That's a
It is. You know what?
that's a
It's,
very
I
touchy,
can't say
because
touchy,
people,
I'm gonna say it's sensitive.
it's touchy, because people that have it really don't want to talk about
People that have it
it. Yes, the people that
will,
are infected with the disease, they
people,
really don't want to
I
talk
would, you know
about
what, I would agree with you if it was the 80s and the
it.
90s,
But
but in today's time, you have,
how many people you know will just come out and walk up and say, or in a conversation as you're talking with them, I just want you to let you know, I just want to let you know that I am HIV positive.
no, I'm gonna say this, that
Or
people
nowadays,
who are in relationships with other people
you
will
gotta ask
talk.
them now before you even get in a relationship. You have any you have any diseases? You have any infections? It's like you
If
damn near
that's
got.
what it came to, that you have to ask a person, hey, we're gonna be in this relationship.
You
I
might
wanna
as well start
know,
filling out
do
applications
you
and get goddamn
have
physical.
HIV? Do we need to go get tested? Some people today, before they commit to being in a relationship with each other, it doesn't seem like I'm gonna get to part 2, 3, and 4, but some people today that find themselves in a new relationship, they will agree to go get tested. There's nothing wrong with
Okay,
that.
and that's where you damn near to have a relationship with anybody. You damn near got to put in an application.
An application,
They want to know your background, what you've done, who you work for. I'm not. Do you work? What do you have? What do you bring to the table? What diseases do you have? Will you get a physical if I ask you? Can I get a physical? Can I get your medical record? That's like filling out a damn application for love.
okay, I can agree with you with that.
Then you got to get a background check.
Ain't nobody doing all that.
Really,
No,
really,
no.
really.
Listen, no, really,
Mm.
just listen. People who enter, and not everybody, people who enter new relationships, that may come up because somewhere in that new relationship, intimacy is going to happen. Foreplay is going to happen.
Would it?
Sex, the art of lovemaking, is going to happen.
Let me ask you something. If you're having oral sex with somebody, can they get affected from that way?
If they are an infected individual, yes.
Okay, so what would be the difference between the oral and kissing?
The saliva.
And the saliva is weird. It's in both spots.
You do not understand it. There's something in the saliva that prevents the HIV virus from
From your
hitting.
mouth or from injecting it?
Are you talking mouth to mouth or mouth to genitals?
Both.
Mouth to mouth, no. Mouth to genitals, if the person is infected, yes.
And what is the difference?
I just told you.
No, but what is
You
why
don't
is it
have no
not?
saliva in your genitals. That's why.
Okay, but when you saying okay, you tongue tossing somebody, you know you spitting in their mouth, right? Honestly speaking, come on. They spitting in
If
yours
it's
or you
mouth to
spitting in
mouth,
theirs? Yeah,
no.
they not.
No, because there's something in the saliva that prevents it.
Then what
This
is
is what I'm
then
trying to tell
okay?
you.
Then
When
what?
it
Why is
comes
it
to
not?
when it
Wait a
comes to
minute. Wait a minute.
semen,
Why is it not being prevented when you have an oral sex? But you use
somebody
it,
laughing. I don't know who the hell is laughing, but somebody
but
laughing
the
at your
saliva,
ass.
but the saliva is still there.
Jackie, then call this number. Call 267. I'm gonna give you the number.
909.
No, because she says it's not letting her in. Jackie, call this number. All right, Jackie, call that number. 267-679. Oh no, 8784. 267. I'm gonna put it up here again. 679-80. Oh shoot. 8784. Jackie said she was trying to call in, but it's not letting her call in.
Well, then tell
Hold
everybody else to
on,
call that
hold
number. I'm
on,
saying if they want to call in
hold on. She said she couldn't get through, so
on
maybe,
that phone, on your phone, she can.
yeah. Anybody who wants to call in, If you couldn't get through on 267-215-909-6070, if you couldn't get through, like Jackie couldn't get through, oh, Mark says open messages. Okay. How are you? It should be ringing. Yeah, it should be ringing. All right, let's see.
What's the answer, Jeff?
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carolyn. Hey, okay. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, you feel as though they will be treated differently because they have HIV. Okay, I agree. I agree. Okay, and I agree with you, Jackie. Uh, people are requesting that anybody they get involved with get an HIV test. And to me, in today's time, that may be the norm because people want to be safe, they want to be secure. They don't want to be involved in a relationship and there's a risk.
Then that's putting in the application for love.
You know what? I ain't got time.
They do. You need your name, your address, your telephone number, your questionnaires. Oh.
Right, right.
What, fill out the application? Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie, for calling in. All right, take care, Jackie. I'll catch up with you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for calling in, sweetheart.
I agree with her. I agree with Jackie.
What's up with the phone? Who said the what?
I don't know. Anyway, listen up, everybody. Um, that was Jackie from Louisiana that called in, and she was expressing how she feel and with the people that she know.
And from what I was hearing from her voice, that was very touchy to her too.
It's touchy to anybody who has um,
That who has some family members
who
or
has a
people that
family
know and
member
people that have
or
it.
friends that either living with HIV or they have crossed over for HIV. For Jackie, she has family members that are living with HIV.
Right,
For me, I have family and friends that have crossed over
right, and that's kind of,
from
but that's touching you
HIV.
now too, isn't it?
Yes, it's
Okay,
very
so then
touching.
I heard it in her voice that it was touching her.
Yeah, it's a
Okay, and
sensitive
it's
topic.
a very touchy conversation to have with somebody, especially on national or worldwide radio.
Yeah, we are on worldwide radio, but I feel as though it is a topic that needs to be discussed. My thing is, I will listen. I will select topics I know that are sensitive,
Oh God,
that are touchy, because nobody wants to talk about
right.
it. And
And
because
you
nobody wants to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it.
and you would kick rocks with flip flops.
Whatever. I'm going to talk about it because people need to hear it. People need to know. They need to know.
Right. But
Mark
it's very
says,
touchy. It's very touchy to talk about.
Mark says, absolutely, he has a family member that have crossed over also. So for him, it's a sensitive, as you say, touchy topic.
Well, I have to, but I have to. Trust me, I have to.
Right.
But it was unmentionable.
What do you mean by
It was
unmentionable?
unmentionable.
Which I don't
It's
understand.
like we didn't talk about it. We knew, but we did not bring it up to talk about it to the individual or around family.
So y'all kept it silent.
It's not kept. We kept it within
Hidden?
house. Within house.
Okay.
Unless that person wanted to talk about it, there was no conversation about
Not even one on one?
it. Unless that person wanted to talk about it, there was no conversation about it.
Okay.
A touchy subject like this, you don't just come out and you know that person. Let's go to the park and let's sit down and talk about it. That person has to want to talk about it, and that's when they have to open up within themselves and feel what they want to say to you. And how do they do that? It hurts them more than you hearing it. It hurts them from coming within themselves, coming out and talking to you about it. That's a hell of a long conversation. It doesn't end in 15 or 20 minutes.
No, it's a
It
couple
ends,
hours.
yes, but then they're afraid because it's growing and it's growing in them that the possibility they don't know how long they're gonna have to live.
That's true.
But I'm saying anybody doesn't. But with that disease, it's coming sooner than you expect. One day you good, the next day you losing a lot of within the next week or so you losing a lot of weight and it's rapidly deteriorating because it's eating you from the inside. True.
True.
Okay.
However, because of the antiretroviral medications that are out, it doesn't happen as fast.
But America does not know that. The people that's infected with it, they know that, or
Right.
they find it out. But that's not. They're not talking about it. It's like me and you talking about it now. How often would this conversation come up if it was somebody else and we did not? We were in a sociable area.
It's
You
not,
think? You
wait a
think?
minute.
Excuse me. Do you think that we would sit in a sociable area, drinking, having fun, eating cake, and at a cookout or at a party or something? We're gonna bring up HIV, and the person that's sitting right there, knowing that they have HIV, you think they're gonna stand up and say, "Yes, I have HIV." Well, let's talk to you about your situation.
I'm going to say no.
Thank you.
However, I got to go, however.
Mm.
It depends.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. I'm going to say this and then we're going to close out because it's 22:02.
That means 10:02 people. Military.
I'm going to say this. It depends. Not a person with HIV is not going to come out and say, "Hey, I'm HIV positive." They're not going to do that. They may not even engage in conversation if there is a conversation going on, depending on how that conversation is going and what type of relationship they have with the people that's talking about it. They may select one person out of that group to say, come here.
Okay,
tell you
then,
something.
then that's when the education begins because the person that's dealing with it has more education than the person that they're talking to.
And
Doesn't.
yes,
Okay,
and
then
it would
make me
behoove the
aware.
person, it would behoove the person that HIV person is talking to listen.
Okay, then that's when that person that you really trust and love, y'all sit down. Two, three, I don't know how many people that you have best friends, somebody you really trust and love. Sit down and let's talk in a circle. Let's talk at dinner. But watch the reaction of the people that you're talking to. Some will shun you off.
That's
Some
true.
will accept the conversation that you're having. Some of them will not want to talk about it at all. And some
That's
will
true.
just walk away and then talk about you.
What, the person that has the HIV?
Yeah, they will talk about you. They will talk about that person. And they will get around that
And see,
people.
that's the problem.
Yes, and people will shun him because of the fact that that
Or
person
her.
or her, that the
Or
person,
her.
that the person that you talked to was you was confiding in them with a conversation, and they spread a rumor and a bad thought about you. Now people looking at you is like, oh no, watch out, you got AIDS.
See, that's where ignorance is.
No, that's when it begins to hurt that person.
It does hurt,
but
but
it
it's
shuts them
based
out.
on ignorance.
Oh, yes, and shit. Although look at the White House.
No, we ain't talking about that. Just stick to the topic.
I know.
That's
But I'm
based
okay. Then the
on
world is full of ignorance. But then when you sit down and talk to somebody like we doing now, let the conversation open up and begin because that person wants somebody to talk to. They just don't know who to talk to.
and I'm gonna say this with the people that I have known to have this deadly virus, they learned, they adjusted to be comfortable to talk about it. One question you never want to ask somebody is, how the hell you get it? That's a dumb question. There's only certain
Why is it?
modes
Why is
of
it?
transportation because some people are just that ignorant to ask the person who has HIV, well, how did you get it?
Well, see, first of all,
What do you mean I did it?
what I was going to say is when the conversation comes up, you're going to have somebody out there say, well, what happened to you? How did you wind up with HIV? How did you wind up with AIDS?
Now,
Then everybody's going to, well, I can't say everybody, but the
This-
majority of people are going to act like you did. They will ask that question. How? What happened
What
to you?
I
What were
said-
you doing?
what I said was that would be a question you don't ask a person
Why?
that has HIV.
Why?
What difference does it make how they
That-
got it?
how?
There's only certain modes of transportation.
Excuse me.
Either you got it
Do
from
you
having
ask
sex,
when you
or you
wait a
got
minute?
it from using needles, or you got it from mother to baby transmission is totally different. If a kid is born with HIV, that's not that baby's
Because
fault.
the parent was infected.
Right.
One or the
That
other.
would be the exception.
Oh, the exception, but the point is, how did that parent get it? Was it they blame it on a lot of things.
No,
Oh,
you can
yes, they
only
do.
get it certain ways
Sexually transmitted.
with an infected person and from the use of drugs, from the use of needles. Any type of sex, whether it's anal sex, oral sex, semen, if a woman has sex with a man who's infected, just sex, no oral stuff going around, just straight up sex.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Through the semen, because he's an infected man, she can get it.
Let me ask you a question.
Remember the stats I gave you? 70% heterosexual women.
I know. You said
Okay.
that. No, I just want to ask this question. If you kissing somebody, you having saliva, right?
Can't get it. I know where you're going
But
with
then the
this.
same thing, if you down on them and you putting the saliva on them, that's not the same.
I said mouth to mouth. You
I know
said
how many mouths
to
to mouth,
genitals.
how many mouths to mouth.
You said mouth to genitals.
Okay,
That's
but then you
different.
said the saliva, they're sliving on you too, right?
What?
Yeah, and they ain't really swallowing at you. They spitting it out back out
That's
on you.
nasty.
Yeah, it
Well,
is,
moving
but excuse
on.
me, it's
No, we
nasty.
getting off of that.
No, we not because
Yeah,
the
we
fact
are.
if
We
you say
running out
kiss,
of
if you
time.
say
It's 10:10.
okay, if you say kissing somebody, that they can well they can't get it.
Right.
But if you down on somebody, they can get it.
Body fluids.
Okay, you know what?
Something
Like you
in the
said,
saliva. I'm just telling you. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the messenger. Okay?
okay,
Listen up, everybody. I'm just a messenger. I'm putting the information out there to make people aware so that they don't have to be in ignorance anymore.
but
They may know some, but not know everything that I gave.
then what's the difference between kissing you in one spot and kissing you in another spot?
I just told you. You know what?
I don't know.
Listen, I'm
Okay.
I'm gonna pick this up with you again off the air, off air, because I can say what I want to say blatantly off air. Okay?
This was a hell of a conversation. Tell you the truth, I would like to hear more about it and understand more because of the fact that as you brought it up, it had me wondering and thinking because really, I was discriminatory against people like that.
I'm glad you're being honest.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And there's probably a
I'm
lot of
glad they
people,
can't see me too.
but there's probably a lot of people
They
who
are, but then
feel like you, like
okay.
they're discriminatory against people who have HIV.
But then as I'm talking to you, I'm being more aware of it.
Right.
But I had questions about it too.
Okay.
And I mean, it was not that I was joking. I was really asking that question. If one part and not another part, then how is it coming at you?
Because of
Sexually transmitted disease or needles.
yes,
Okay.
and mother
But
to baby
or blood
transmission
blood
or blood
transplants.
transfusion.
Yes, I understand all of that, but
Okay.
where does it end?
What do you mean, where does it
Because
end?
by the conversations that we have right now,
Yeah.
nobody's really like coming in on this. It's an open and shut conversation because nobody wants to talk about
However, they are responding.
it. They are. Now we
Yeah.
got to get the phone together and say, y'all call in. Let's talk. Let's hear more about this. I want to do. While I'm asking, can we do this again? It's like a continuation because I do want to be aware, and there's a lot of people out here that would like to be aware of the knowledge and not knowing what it's like. Because a lot of people's hearts are broken out there about having it and dealing with it, and people looking at them, it's like they are really infected or they have a bad disease. That makes them handicapped and makes them feel uncomfortable being around people. So they close themselves off.
I agree.
Okay, so can we continue this again?
You mean as in next Monday?
I don't know about next Monday.
So when do you want to continue?
Next Monday, I don't know if I'll be in next Monday. Oh, can I have permission off, please?
No, you can't have off.
Well,
Sorry,
that's okay. I'm
you gotta
calling.
come in.
I'm calling in sick.
No, you're not.
Hey, you can't deny me a sick day.
There's no sick days. All right, listen up, everybody. Um, there was a part 2, part 3, and part 4 to this, which we didn't get to because of this of the conversation with the HIV virus. I understand that it is a sensitive topic. Mr. C says it's a touchy topic, but it's a topic that needs to be talked about.
So let's do it again.
It's a topic that people need to be educated on.
Let's do it again.
People need to be made aware and not be afraid. And it's for the people that are living with HIV virus. Do not, do not hide yourself in your home. You have no reason to feel ashamed. You have no reason to feel like
See,
people
somebody
are
is.
not going to like me
Some people are
if
somewhere.
I let them know.
Right, and you know what they're sitting there thinking? It's like, I don't know if I should or should. Who's ever listening or wherever they get it from or however they listen, I don't know if I want to do that to somebody that I know and love. Because now that person's reaction is once you tell them, that's going to be a facial look that you wasn't expecting, that you really didn't want to see, but now you got it because you said it. That hurts.
It
And
does.
then the first question that's going to come out their mouth is the one that you said don't ask.
Exactly.
Well, then you know they are.
Because my thing is, what difference does it make? If it's not mother to baby transmission, what difference?
It's the
Just hear me out a minute. Hear me out a minute. What difference does it make how they got the virus?
It's just the question that's going to come up.
But
it's the question that's going to be the first thing is going to come to their mouth, out of their minds, and through their mouth. How did you get that? And I've been knowing you all my life and all these years. It's whatever. What did you do? What was you doing?
that to me, you know what? I could be wrong for saying this, but that's an asinine question.
Well, you're wrong because that's
I
the
said
first
I
thing.
could be
That's the
wrong.
first thing that's going to come out. How'd you get cancer? And you don't smoke.
Secondhand smoke.
Yeah,
There's a lot of ways of getting
thank
cancer.
you.
However,
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Is that an asinine question?
Wait a minute. Totally different.
How?
Totally different. I'm getting ready to tell you. Totally different disease. Because there's several ways of getting cancer. That's all based on the white blood cells.
And that's several ways of getting HIV and AIDS.
No.
Why not?
Because I just told
we need to
you.
continue this.
I just told you.
Okay, can we continue this? Because right now we're doing OT.
I just told you the limited modes of transmission. They can't get it no other way.
Mm.
That's it. The modes of transmission that I gave earlier, that's it.
I heard that somebody was working in a Coca-Cola factory or one of these factories, and they infected bottles with HIV.
Yes.
And you can get it through that, can't you?
If you drink the bottle of Coca-Cola, yes.
Yeah, or Pepsi or whatever it is. So they it's not a limit to it.
Yeah, it is.
No, because people
when it comes to people are being creative because if a person feels as though they got HIV, they got a date with death. I get that. So now they want to infect every freaking body else that they come in contact with. Or like that guy, it was a guy that actually did that. Yeah. It was a guy that did that.
Yeah.
I agree with you to that extent, but I'm talking normal. That was you were just being an asshole.
I don't like to know what's normal nowadays.
But I'm talking about the medical documented modes of transmission. What this guy did and what this lady did, I agree with you. Where does it stop? When you get people out there who has this wicked ass mind, like, oh, I got it, so I'm gonna infect a whole lot of other people.
But then you also got the people that are infected with it that are really broke down and hurt and have nobody to talk to.
That's why we do this.
Can we do it again?
You asking me?
Yes, I am. Can we do a continuation?
Can I think about it?
Please.
Can I think about it?
Please.
Yeah, we will do a continuation again on this topic. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do that first. Jackie says, Carolyn, that is the first thing they are going to ask and how you got it. Jackie, but to me, it doesn't matter how they got it. The point is,
they got it.
They got it. And they have it for life. That shit ain't going nowhere.
Somebody passes away. The first thing that's going to come out your mouth is how they die.
That's different.
No, how different
you know
is
what?
it?
No, stop that.
Okay, you know what? Can we stop
it's
this?
Different. Don't do that.
I'm not doing. I'm asking.
No. It's different. People die from.
I'm only using scenarios.
That's wrong scenario.
Why?
Because of the mode of transmission. That's why. Stick with was you listening when I went through the modes of transmission?
Yes.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay, then stick with that. If you stick with that, you can't compare the AIDS virus to nothing else. Wait a minute. You can't compare the AIDS virus to nothing else but another retrovirus?
I'm asking that question to everybody. Well, a hell of a lot of people ask this question right off the bat. How'd you get it?
And
What happened to you?
you know what? And I'm saying this. I guess I'm saying this because I'm in the field. To me, I could be wrong. That's asking our question.
Okay.
Now, wait a minute. For the lay person who's not in my field, who don't know everything I know and has no clue, that may be a common question.
It's going to be a common question for a lot of people that are not in your field.
Okay.
But then here's a common question that you would ask too.
What do you think I'm gonna ask?
What happened to him?
I'm not gonna ask that.
Mm.
I don't care. And I'm gonna tell you this. I don't care.
Carolyn?
No, you don't know what I'm gonna say. Chill with that. Chill.
You do have a
No,
heart of
chill.
gold,
Listen to what I'm saying. Before you say no, stop anticipating what you think is going to come out my mouth. Don't do that. I don't care how they got it. It doesn't matter how they got it. The point is, they got it. What do we do from here? How can I help this person from this point on now that I know they got it? I could give two issues about how the fuck they got it. I don't care how they got it. The point is, they got the shit. What do we do from here? What stage are you in? There's 4 stages to HIV that I never got into. 4 different stages.
Okay.
Hold on.
No, I'm just saying then we'll have a continuation.
We'll have a continuation.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Hey everybody, it got it got kind of warm up in here. So I want to take the time out to say
No,
this.
the alarm went off.
Thank you, Jackie, for calling in. Thank you, Mark, for participating. Thank you, Tara, for tuning in. Thank you, Angela, for tuning in. Thank you, Jeff, for tuning in. Thank you, Wildmine, for tuning in. Thank you, Kelvin, for tuning in. Thank you, Paula, for tuning in. Thank you, Reg, for tuning in. Thank you, Bernadette, for tuning in. Thank you, Andrew and John and Kiana, for tuning in. Thank you, Kelvin, for tuning in. Thank you, Angela, for tuning in. Thank you, William, for tuning in. Mr. C has asked for this conversation to continue on. There was a lot I wanted to cover on another side. So I told him, yes, we will continue this next week. So next week, we're going to continue this conversation on understanding the HIV virus. And I believe you may want me to get into the 4 stages, which I didn't get into, and other conversations that has to do with people who are affected with the AIDS virus and how this virus affects them and how they feel on the inside. So we'll continue this next Monday. Tune in next Monday. I will put out another post on this. When I put out another post on this and I go live next Monday, feel free, family, to call in and participate and engage in a conversation and let us know how you feel about this topic. Let us know how you feel about this topic. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in on my Facebook Live. I appreciate you very much. Take care. Stay blessed up. Happy Labor Day and have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye. YouTube, thank you for tuning in. If you catch this on a replay, just type in replay, put in your questions, put in your comments, tune in next Monday. There is going to be a continuation on this hot topic, understanding the HIV virus, understanding AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, and we will be here continuing this topic next Monday. So thank you, everybody. YouTube, just type in replay. If you know of someone who has the HIV virus, just in the comments, type 1 if you would treat them the same. type 2, if you would treat them differently. If you would treat them differently, just put in the comments why you would treat them differently. I will respond. I will see y'all next Monday at 8 o'clock. Take care, YouTube. Have a blessed night. Take care. Bye-bye. Audio Land.